Welcome everybody to Blerdlines. This is your man Cam. With me as always is
Big Josh,
as well as
the Professor.
And Cam 2 is off on assignment, but we are here to say we finally watched Punisher, the Last Kill, Long Kiss Goodnight, something, please go away and die. I'm sad and no one wants to talk to me. I'm all alone.
Well, officially, Punisher, the Last Kill, I think,
Yes.
right? Yes. But, unofficially, Blerdlines, I'm calling it Punisher, the almost last kill, but we know he's coming back to kill some more.
The next last kill.
At some point. He'll never have a last kill until he's killed. And even then, the last thing he does will be killing someone as he's dying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Watching Punisher and then watching Daredevil combined, it felt like this was like a skipped episode in Daredevil, essentially, just turned up a little bit because of violence. And then so we get Frank Castle. He's sad again after he killed everyone and he's alone. He's kind of mulling around with his life. Maybe he wants to kill himself, maybe not.
Sad is an understatement. I think you mean he's having a complete psychotic break.
Yes. The last time we saw him was in Daredevil season Born Again season 1, where he helped Matt out, and then he gets captured by the fake Punishers. So then we see him again here. He's all dilapidated, complete opposite of what he was in Daredevil. So we don't know what happened. And then we have this new character introduced who now they've told us that he killed her whole family, and then they show it, whatever. And so she's trying to get some get back. But like, other than that, it didn't really have any connection to anything besides just Frank Castle, unless I'm missing something, Josh.
Officially, it's supposed to have taken place running parallel to Daredevil season 2.
And you get nothing in Punisher. Like, you don't even get a newscast up like, hey, Kingpin's empire is toppled, or hey, Daredevil's been arrested. You don't get any of that. You just get him. I'm Frank. I'm suicidal. I'm having a mental breakdown, and
I'm talking to myself.
They kind of just drop you in. Again, I love a drop in. Drop me in. Stuff's going on, and then take me out. Okay, cool. But you can still tell a cool, complete story, beginning, middle, and end, and then take us out, and then that character keeps going on to whatever they're doing. And I think that's what they were trying to do here. But instead, they're just like, yo, have you seen a couple of the Hong Kong martial arts films where there's usually a guy in a building and a bunch of other guys are rushing to kill him? Let's do that, but American.
It kind of felt like a definitely inspired by that. But I also saw it because of the interesting runtime as almost like experimenting with the micro drama, but in still the traditional format. Because if you really think about the way this narrative is set up, it does, as you point out, just drop us in the middle of a day in the life of Frank Castle. We don't get much context about a lot of the things that we're seeing other than the initial setup and his psyche and what he's going through.
Frank thinks he's done. He thinks that he's taken out everybody that needs to be taken out. And so once that's done, he has no war left to fight. And so that in turn causes the psychotic break, which I thought personally was an interesting take. And I think Bernthal went somewhere. For the work that he seemed to put in, I'm really reticent to sort of criticize it as like, oh, it just was whatever. Like, he really went some places, it would seem.
The best part about it is Bernthal, of course, playing Frank Castle. That's the best part of it, even if it's the rest around it was kind of shoddy and a little shaky. And I think that at that point, that part is cool. And I think that the lack of structure for everything else around it, it really did look like it honestly, it just felt like an off episode in Daredevil. Like, literally, besides it being in the daytime and extra violence, like, it literally was Daredevil. It was like, oh, we're at episode 7. Let's have a break from. Let's go find out what's going on with Frank.
While we love being dropped into a world that's already in progress, and so you aren't necessarily fully aware of the things that happened before, but it influences what's happening now and what's going to happen going forward. They don't do a good job of grounding you in that. We're assuming that that Punisher's mission is kill everything in sight that breaks the law. If you're a jaywalker, you might catch a bullet in the leg. Like that. That's the Punisher we know.
But he hasn't morphed into that, and I think that was what this was trying to attempt to do, which is why, once again, we get a situation where we have a story about the Punisher and a Marvel character who is known for having an iconic look, and that look is put off into the very last moment of the story. You know, if you're gonna do this, I would rather it be that version of the Punisher. We get him to that. He's because, quite frankly, this is why I like Ray Stevenson's version the most, because his torment was very quiet and directed at the criminals. You knew about his background. There was moments where they do a flash and we see him with his wife and his kid, but I don't know if we've ever had enough of that with this version of Punisher to be emotionally tied or care enough about these kinds of psychological moments in the characters, whatever this is supposed to be. This isn't a journey of any kind of import whatsoever. Um, this is just John Berthal being the Punisher for 55 minutes. But beyond that, there's no real story here.
They have so much other things to draw from, and they could have easily just dropped those in. Again, as a wise man once said, one line of dialogue could have literally tied a bunch of these things together, but we didn't get that. We literally just got Punisher killing a bunch of people. Again, super fun. But like after that, like what are we doing? And we did the classic thing that Professor D just said is Marvel always likes to do, right? Let's do a whole bunch of stuff, and then that last 5 seconds is like, dun, 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 dun. Now I'm putting on my the thing that you know me
Right.
as.
I think they moved past it with the carrying Daredevil. Obviously, he was in his suit.
Yeah, but they did that with the Netflix series. Like he doesn't don the suit until the end of season 1.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, you're right. They've done it repeatedly, you know, and he was out of the suit most of season 1
of Born Again. Yeah,
yeah, Born Again. For the only reason is because he was very sad about Foggy Nelson's death, which, you know, for me, no, I won't say that. That's a little dark.
no, I say it. No, go ahead, man.
No, Josh. We won't talk about it. It's been a long time, and he's paid his due. So
right.
we won't hate on him.
So I would say so now that we're like leading into the Daredevil talk, I would say, season 1 was Matlock Murdoch, where he was out here cyber crimes in a suit and blind all day, and then got 2 seconds of actual suit stuff, and then he finally got like it was just like, what are we doing? But then again, once Castle showed up, once Karen showed up, all right, now things started moving. It was starting
3
fun,
thumbs
like,
up.
yeah, it got really good. So then here we are, season 2. I'm like, hey, maybe they figured it out. Maybe they have a little bit of they got a little gumption now. Matt's out here knocking heads and doing stuff and starting to be a vigilante. And after like an episode, they go right back to it.
Yep.
It was the most anticlimactic fall of a quote unquote antagonist I've ever seen in my life. Like everyone's grouping together. We're in the streets rioting against the bad dictator guy.
We're all Daredevil and the Daredevil masks. That was what killed it for me.
It was
hasn't that been done already
multiple times?
The only thing that was missing was the "We are all Daredevil" chant.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was really bad, and it was so unearned.
And the reveal that the public reveal that that Matt Murdock is Daredevil was completely anticlimactic.
And
So
again,
I didn't
something
care.
that's already been done with Peter Parker Spider-Man. Like,
exactly.
Come on.
And Iron Man. High points, Jessica Jones, who I don't like the actress, I don't like the character, in Daredevil was cool. Showed up at the right time, said the right things, punched a bunch of people, and it was cool. Bullseye was another highlight. He was really fun. I thought he was cool every time he showed on the screen. But it was just a convoluted mess to the point where when you get to the series finale, you're just like, I just want it to just be over. Not that I don't even care about the resolution of what's been going on this season. I just want this to wrap up so we can move on and just like tell me how Punisher is going to be in Spider-Man at this point.
If you frame the things that happen around the big tentpole moments differently, and you support them with shit that actually matters and that people would care about, I think all the big tentpole moments, Jessica Jones would have been an oh shit moment. Matt doing the thing in court. So basically, he says that that he's Daredevil. Nobody believes him because he's blind. And then he folds his stick and bounces it, ricochets it off of like 3 things in the courtroom, and then catches it without even looking. And
That was cool.
should have been that was cool to see. And it should have been like, oh shit, he outed himself, instead of like, oh, all right, I could see why he did that.
The last just like shrug moment was now that Jessica Jones is back in New York because she's been living in the burbs with her kid and in a quiet life, and some goons come to try to take her out, quote unquote. She whoops all their asses. Also, nice moment. They did a really good job with it. And then at the end, she's back to in New York. She's now going to be a PI with her PI firm, Alias, who walks through the door. Oh shit, it's Luke Cage in a suit. Where you been, honey? Oh, I've been working for the government, but that's done now. Now
That's
I'm
another
home.
story.
Yeah, that's the story for another time. I'm just happy to be home with my girl and my daughter. And it's again, you're just like, all right.
So
man,
they are married, and it's his daughter.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what they basically established, essentially. On a positive part, if they were going to do this, like bringing in Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, blah, 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 and like even there's rumors about doing Heroes for Hire type of a situation with all 3 of them, plus even bringing back Danny Ryan, which is hilarious.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, they're talking about doing that. Where if they do, that opens things like bringing back Misty Knight, who's awesome.
Colleen Wing,
and other
also
awesome.
awesome.
And Colleen Wing as well. So like there's options to do good things, but I just think that it was such an anticlimactic way to do things.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that Marvel got to do is just get out of this convoluted space and just Josh said it before on the when we were talking about X-Men, which is just let it just adapt the characters as we know them. You don't need, like, if you do the show Heroes for Hire with the Cage family, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, you don't need to do so much convoluted stuff. They are superpowered individuals who are helping people, and then some big thing happens that draws them in, and now there are big stakes, and they have to figure out how to solve it. That's it. That's all we need with these superhero stories. Like 8 episodes of that, you good.
Some of Marvel's best stories are in Daredevil, most of them by Frank Miller, but there's some really dope stories in there that are about ground level street vigilante, good versus evil. What's the line? When do you cross it? When you don't? And that's kind of Daredevil's thing, right? Like he's always trying to be on the line in El Morals, but he's done some questionable things sometimes, and he fucks up. And I think that's the part that people actually enjoy about the Daredevil character. And I think in this, they kind of were just trying to be a little bit too cheeky, too little, just like, they just didn't want to, they didn't tell a good story.
And they're really trying to make all these moral conundrums that Matt has into these big things that they're not. Like they feel manufactured as opposed to earned.
Yeah. And some things he's going to equivocate on his faith because he is Catholic.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a part of who he is in his identity.
And I think that's a good way to leave it for both, actually, for Punisher and Daredevil. I think, we have pretty solid characters and pretty flawed outings of recent, and I'm not too sure where they go from here. Which they might not have to go that much further, because there's a reset coming, fellas. It's a reset. You guys haven't heard. Doomsday is resetting everything.
Everything for the MCU is a big shoulder shrug right now. So we'll see if they can make us once again feel that nerdy force for them.
With that, we're going to leave it right there. And thanks for listening to us. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, all these good things. And we out. Deuces.